One professor and researcher at UW Green Bay is studying traumatic brain injuries. He's hoping the findings will have implications for athletes who suffer from concussions or CTE.
But he's not studying actual athletes. The subjects of his experiments are much smaller. Local 5's Robin Uwgb got a first-hand look at the work he does, and she's got the story.
This is the lab at Uwgb, where tens of thousands of flies are tested each year. And believe it or not, we humans share some of the same genes as these little guys that you sometimes see on your bad bananas.
We trap all the flies in the vial and then set the plug height so they're about the same.
Who knew flies and football players had something in common? Doug Brusich studies how these insects recover from their brain injuries, or if they recover at all.
Several successive injuries at a very mild to moderate level result in the same sort of dysfunction as one severe injury, suggesting that these more mild injuries, when coupled closely in time, is probably impactful towards outcomes.
His work could potentially aid UWGB's athletic program to find out what affects recovery time for athletes who suffer head injuries.
There's a lot more risk factors that we don't know about right now. And so when we can look at fruit flies and their genetic components and see what predisposes them to traumatic brain injuries, we can then maybe transfer that over to human research.
So how exactly does he put these flies to the test?
We sort them into vials much like this, using the aid of a microscope. We put the vial at the end of the spring. We have these several different stopping points. And so if we deflect this vial all the way back to this last stopping point, that's going to be our 90-degree deflection angle. And so that's going to cause the most severe injuries. The fly vial will rapidly collide with our pad down here, and flies will become concussed. You send them all to the bottom of the vial. The flies will happily run up the side of the vial. And so you can look at things like the coordination of these flies and how well they're able to climb as a marker of coordination.
Brusich is hoping his research is just one more way to understand what's happening in the brain of an athlete post-injury.
You can use flies effectively as a tool to see what kinds of genes are important in recovery or sensitivity to these mild repetitive injuries that are, we think, similar to what are being experienced during things like sports injuries.
In Green Bay, Robin Uwgb, Local 5 News.